Alright everyone, welcome to class today. I thought I would take the advantage of the beautiful weather and do a film for you guys outside today. So if you'd like to practice this sequence outside as well, it's going to be a really kind of connecting in with our surroundings and our environment and the warmth and the sounds of the birds. So if you're able to, get yourself outside, or maybe just open up your window and kind of get some nice fresh air and all of those nice senses in to your practice today. So we're going to start coming to sit onto our mats, so get yourself comfortable into whichever seat is best for you. So just once you are seated comfortably, allow the hands to rest, allow the shoulders to draw back and allow the eyes to close. Taking the first few moments of our practice as we always do, settling yourself into your seat, maybe making some of those little movements just to get yourself into your body. Allowing the eyes to close if you haven't done already. Turning the awareness inwards and removing this biggest sense of the sight to allow our other senses to begin to heighten. So noticing what is straight away coming up. The sounds of the birds and the other sounds around you, maybe in your space, maybe you can hear them in mine. So as you begin to tune in with these smaller sounds around you, try not to grasp onto these sounds. Just trying to allow them to kind of wash over you and effectively kind of wash through you and out through the other side. So it's really easy for the mind to hold on to something and then allow it to go down a little rabbit warren of thought. Maybe hearing a bird sing and thinking about where it's coming from. And from that it will jump to it's building its nest, and from there it might jump to its little babies. From there it might jump to anything. So just rather than allowing it to jump too fast or even too far, just be aware of the thought and coming back into your body and allowing the other sounds to begin to wash through. And with all of this in mind, I want you to begin to breathe a little bit deeper. With the sensation of touch underneath your hands, either the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands, depending on how you have chosen to place your hands down. And then feeling the warmth or the coolness, maybe a bit of breeze on the skin, the temperature on the skin that's exposed, if you are feeling some sun, some warmth on it. Feel the breath come in and out effortlessly, right down into the lower half of the belly as you allow the diaphragm to really lead the breathing. This vacuum that is drawing the air in as the lungs expand. And almost this squashing out, allowing yourself to empty everything to the very bottom of the exhalation. And then keeping your eyes closed, if you feel happy to, just going to drop your right ear down towards your right shoulder. It doesn't have to be a massive movement, it's just going to start to feel the stretch through the side of the left side of the neck, sorry. And you can take this slightly deeper by maybe just releasing your left hand down next to you towards the left hand side, maybe just TPing the fingertips. And you can move here gently through the neck or maybe just through the arm, just to find some other little areas of resistance. Maybe inviting a little bit more or easing off out of the stretch slightly if that is what is needed. Maybe a circling through the wrist, maybe an opening or closing of the palm, noticing how the movement can then affect how the stretch feels. And then taking your right hand, pop it onto the side of your head, and then lift your heavy head back up. Reclose your eyes if they have opened, drop your left ear down towards the left shoulder. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And take the right hand out towards the right hand side of the mat. Finding some movements here, or being still. Finding the resistance, feeling the opening. You can keep completely still if that is something that is, if you're called to do, or if you're getting a pretty intense sensation. Sometimes we kind of crave movement just for the sake of it to enhance our experience. And then gently taking that left hand back onto the side of the face, lift your heavy head back up. From here, your right arm is going to rise high towards the sky. Bending into your elbows, your hand finds the back of your neck. I'm just going to take a moment here just to kind of massage out through the neck. Maybe kind of getting into your jaw a little bit, or maybe it walks itself down towards your neck and your shoulders. And we carry so much tension in our necks. So it's just a little moment of a bit of self-love here. And then from here, you're going to walk the hand a little bit further down as your left arm rises all the way up towards the sky, finding into this elbow. Now your elbow is going to pull out as your hand pulls your elbow back in. So you're going to find that kind of pull-push connection. So it's a little bit more active. So keep your rib cage in, chest nice and open, tailbone drawing down. You can stay here, or you can take this a little bit further by taking yourself over towards the left-hand side, taking a bit more of a side bend. You can relax the head onto the inside edge of the arm if it feels good. And then from here, bring yourself back up if you haven't done already. You're going to take the side of your head, be mindful of your hair, side of your head with your right hand. Drop your left hand back down towards the floor and take that side bend once again. But this time the weight of your head is going to be assisting. So the heavier you make your head, the more of a stretch through the right hand side of the body. But see if you can anchor that right sit bone down towards the ground. And then looking down towards the floor with this right elbow, you're going to lead with the right elbow as your head follows, dropping your elbow down towards the knee. Slight twist here through the spine. And then lift the elbow as you take your head back up with you. Lift the gaze up towards the sky. And then looking back down towards the floor as the elbow follows. Twisting down towards the floor, elbow hugs in. And then breathing in, elbow rises back up, gaze lifts. Do this one more together, exhale, dropping down. And then inhaling, opening up. And bring yourself back towards the center. Use the hand to lift your head back up. And you can keep the hand slid back behind you as your opposite hand now rotates to the back of the room. You can find the bottom of your t-shirt, or if you've managed to find your fingers, then cool, but see if you can just relax the head. Elbows are lifting away from one another. You can stay here once again, or if it's working, keep hold of the t-shirt, or if you've got a strap or something available, like a dressing gown tie or something, you can hold on to that. And then a slight hinge forwards, it doesn't have to be very far. Ribs in, elbows apart. And then lifting yourself back up, unravel the hands, cartwheel the fingers out towards the side. Maybe just taking a little bit of spaghetti arms here, rolling out through the shoulders. As you lift the left arm high towards the sky, bending into the elbow to find the back of the head. Taking a little massage of the neck here on this side. Maybe easing into more the left side of the jaw. And then taking hold of the head, you're going to hinge yourself over towards the right hand side. Heavy into your head. Smooth out the breath, ribs in, breathing right down into the lower half of the belly. And then looking down towards the floor as your elbow is going to drop down towards the mat, twisting over towards the right hand side. Hold your heavy head as the elbow lifts back up, head lifts to the sky. Exhaling, dropping down. Lower the gaze, elbow drops. And then breathing in, open back up. Last one, twisting around towards the right hand side. Big inhale, open back up towards the ceiling. Lift your heavy head back up towards the sky. The opposite hand finds the elbow as the hand slides down towards the back of your neck. Hand pulls in, elbow pulls out. Getting this nice long stretch through the side of the body. You can stay here if it feels good, or you can hinge ever so slightly over towards the right hand side. And then as you bring yourself back up, your right arm is going to windmill up, back and behind you. See if you can find the bottom of your t-shirt. If you can't, find your fingers or finding that strap if you'd like to. And then beginning to fold just a couple of centimeters further forwards, maybe it's a couple of inches. I want you to be pulling your elbows apart from one another, ribs stay drawing back, tailbone stays drawing down. And then gently release, cartwheel the arms back out towards the sides. A little bit of movement here. Then we're going to come forwards onto our mats, coming into our downward facing dog. So push gently up out of the hands, tucking the toes. Slight bend into the knees, just a paddle from side to side just to begin with. Dropping opposite heels down towards the floor, noticing the backs of the legs. Dropping the armpits alternately down towards the floor as well. And then finding some steadiness in your downward facing dog. The knees can stay as bent as you like. And then lift the gaze towards the fingers, beginning to walk or step the feet forwards towards the hands. Take the feet a little bit wider, nice generous forward bend. Then the knees, feel your belly touch the thighs and kind of shake the tail out here. Maybe find opposite elbows, take a moment just to release and relax. And then release your interlace, pushing down through the feet, long inhale, arms rise up towards the sky, lifting up towards the thumbs. Bow down through the midline, forward bend, down to the floor. Hands come to the mat, step your right foot back. Lower the back knee, now TP your fingertips. Lift the gaze as you draw the shoulders back, sinking a little bit lower into that front knee. And then tuck the chin, press into the palms, stepping back, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. And allowing the exhalation to be a really cleansing experience. Getting out all that old residue, all that old air. Squeezing the belly right at the bottom so there's nothing left in it. And then lift the gaze to the fingers, walking or stepping the feet to the hands. Forward bend. And then inhaling, pushing down, standing up, arms rise to the sky. Bring the hands back to the center of the chest. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, forward bend down through the midline. Hands come to the floor, stepping the left foot back. The back knee lowers, TP the fingertips, lift the gaze, sink the shoulders, back and down. Tuck the chin, push into the palms, stepping back, downward facing dog. A few breaths. And then lift the gaze, walk or step the feet to the hands. Take the feet a little bit wider, almost as wide as the mat. Once again, finding a forward bend here, finding the elbows, finding a sway from side to side. And then heel toe the feet together, bending the knees, coming and sitting into your chair pose. Lift the hands up towards the sky, sit your bum just a little bit lower as the hands come to the center of the chest. We're going to find a simple twist here, so this left elbow is going to come in between your knees, and then push the palms together to twist yourself around towards the right hand side. Now look down to your knees, make sure your knees are staying in one line, keeping yourself stable. And then look back down towards the floor as you bring yourself back to the center. Same thing, right elbow comes in between the knees as you twist. Smooth out the breath. Lower the gaze. Bring yourself back towards the middle, forward bend over the legs. Inhaling, half lift, hands come onto the shins. Think about drawing the chest forwards, the shoulders back. And then exhale, forward bend over the legs. Hands come to the floor, step the right foot back. The back knee lowers this time. Just be mindful of the floor you're on. I'm on quite a hard concrete floor. As the arms lift up towards the ceiling. Imagine you're squeezing a block now in between your hands as you sink that front knee just a little bit lower. Then think about lifting up through the chest as you begin to lift the gaze towards the ceiling. A nice long inhale. Exhale, hands come back down towards the floor, stepping back, downward facing dog. And from here, lifting your right leg all the way up towards the sky. Gazing forwards, you're going to step or help that right foot through in between your fingers. The back knee lowers, right arm lifts up towards the ceiling as you twist. You can keep the back toe down, back toe tucked. Back knee can be lifted if you would like to. Sink a little lower into the front knee. Hands come back down towards the floor, take a little spring. Left foot joins the right forward bend. Push down through the feet, inhale, arms rise to the sky. This time, exhale, bring the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers. Chest lifts open, rib cage in, lift the heart. Bend the knees, folding forwards, arms come up and over the head. Take the feet a little bit wider, shake the head here. Easing into the shoulders. And then release through the interlace, hands come to the floor. Stepping the left foot back, the back knee lowers, arms rise up towards the sky into your low lunge. Sink a little deeper into the front knee, arms rise up towards the ceiling. Think about the tailbone drawing down and the heart lifting up. And then hands come back down towards the floor, anchor the palms to the mat as you step back, downward facing dog. The left leg flies towards the sky, breathing in. Gaze forward, stepping or helping the foot through to the top of the mat. As the back knee lowers, you twist, left arm rises towards the ceiling. Maybe you tuck the back toe and lift the back knee if it's accessible. Maybe you relax the head, or maybe you look towards the top arm. And then lower the gaze, back knee lowers if it's up, stepping back, downward facing dog. Shake through the head, take a moment to paddle. And then lifting the gaze, walking, stepping to the top of the mat. Breathe in, stand up, arms rise to the sky. Take the hands once again back behind you, interlace the fingers, breathe in to open the chest. And breathe out to fold forwards. Staying here once again for a few moments. Easing a little deeper into what's going on through the backs of the legs. Keeping the knees bent if you need to make this a little bit more comfortable. And then unravel the fingers, lower them to the floor. Stepping back with your right leg. Lower the back knee down towards the floor as the arms rise to the sky once again into our low lunge. This time we're twisting, take the left arm back behind you, reach the right arm forwards. Bring the hands into the center of the chest as this front elbow comes onto the outside edge of your front knee. Push the palms together and twist your chest around. And you can stay here, or the back toe can tuck, the back knee can lift. Noticing if that changes your shape or if you're sacrificing your breath. And then if the back knee is up, lower it back down towards the floor. Bring yourself back up into your warrior, into your twisted low lunge position. Left arm joins the right, breathing in, arms rise to the sky. And exhale, bring the fingers back down towards the floor, stepping back, downward facing dog. And here, lifting your right leg all the way up towards the sky. This time, bend the knee, open the hip. Lift the gaze to the top of the mat. Step the foot to the outside edge of your right hand. Back knee lowers. And then you're going to bend your elbows backwards as you kind of lower your chest down towards the floor into kind of a lizard push-up. So the elbows stay hugged in, chest draws down. And then pushing yourself back up using your arms. Slowly bend, lowering down. And pushing back up. Sinking a little bit deeper into that hip. and push. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, take a little spring, left foot joins the right, forward bend with the legs really, really wide. And then you can stay here, or you can bend the knees and lower your bum towards the floor into your yogi squat. Elbows find the inside edges of the thighs, chest lifts up, tailbone draws down. If you're super happy in this position, you can push your knees gently against your arms against your knees, to feel a little bit more traction, a little bit more engagement. And then fingers come to the floor, re-straighten the legs, heel toe the feet together. Push down, stand up, take up space as the arms lift towards the sky. Swing the hands back behind you, interlacing, opening up on the in-breath and folding down on the out-breath. And then releasing the fingers down towards the floor, stepping the left foot back. The back knee lowers, lift yourself up into your low lunge, and then twisting towards the right hand side. Right arm comes back behind you, left hand comes forward. Hands come into prayer at the center of the chest. Take the front elbow to the outside edge of the front knee. Push gently into the palms and twist yourself around. Make sure the neck is relaxed. You're not straining to look anywhere particular. You can stay here, or the back toe can tuck, the back knee can lift. Once again, noticing if your stuff becomes super wobbly or if your pose becomes sacrifice. And if your back knee is up, lower it back down to the floor. Everybody open back up into your twisted lunge position. Right arm sweeps towards the sky, lift the gaze. Exhale, fingers come back down towards the floor, stepping back, downward facing dog. Big breath in, left foot flies to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. Lift the gaze, step the foot to the outside edge of the left hand as the back knee lowers. Elbows draw back, chest draws forwards, bend the elbows and lower your chest down into your lizard press. And then pushing into the palms to straighten. 2 more like that, bend the elbows, lower down. And push back up. Making sure you're using the arms and not just your leg. Pushing all the way back up. Tuck the back toe, take a little spring if you'd like to. Right foot joins the outside edge of your right hand. Bum to the floor, yogi squat. Take a moment just to sway here from side to side. Keeping our bum towards the floor. This is really getting into our hip flexors. And then we're going to work a little bit more into the strength of our legs. So you're going to take the elbows off your hands and then straighten up the legs just a little bit so you can really start to feel your legs, your glutes, your quads starting to fire up. Make sure the knees stay in line with your toe, on the same direction as your toes. Weight into the heels. And you're kind of corkscrewing your heels together and in. Keep the chest open, a slight tailbone down. Keep the chest proud. Stay with me, take a nice long inhale. Exhale, push up to stand up. Bring the feet back together, open the palms and close the eyes. Finding neutral ground beneath the feet, the balls of the feet and the toes. The heels and the inside and outside edges. I'm going to take a moment just to check back in with the sounds around us. Noticing how the body is feeling as we begin to warm it up from internally. Checking in with those sounds around us. Checking in with what is available to us in this moment. And bring the hands together at the center of the chest. Inhale, arms lift to the sky, look towards the thumbs. And then as you exhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest to find some balance. And come by a warrior 3 from here. So kick the foot back. You can keep the arms at the center of the chest. Or if you'd like a little bit more balance, the arms can reach out towards the sides of the mat. And then bend ever so slightly into your front knee. Keep the right knee as high as you can. As you land the back toes effortlessly to the back of the mat. Push up, arms lift towards the sky, high lunge. Twisting as the left arm reaches back behind you, right arm reaches forwards. Sink a little bit lower into that front knee. Pull the legs together and keep your hips facing forwards. And then the left arm joins the right as you cartwheel out into your warrior 2. Reverse your warrior, slide the back hand down the back leg. Top arm lifts towards the sky. And then extended side angle as the elbow comes onto Your front leg, top arm reaches up and over. Lower the gaze, right hand comes down towards the floor, twizzle onto the back toes, left arm rises to the sky as you twist. Looking up towards the thumb or relax the neck. Lower the gaze, hands to the floor, walk the left foot to the outside edge of your left hand. Little spring, right foot joins the left as you fold. Heel toe the feet together. Sit down, chair pose. Feet together or a little bit wider if it feels better. Hands come to the center of the chest. Once again, we're going to twist. So if you'd like to, bringing the left elbow either onto the inside of the knees or to the outside edge of the right knee. Making sure you're using the exhalation to twist. Notice how the breath here is changed as we begin to twist through the midline. Back towards the center on the breath in. Once again, the elbow can come onto the inside or the outside edge. Keep the weight even between the feet, making sure the knees aren't going on a little wander. And then back towards the center, push down, stand up, arms rise, lift the gaze. As you bring the left foot down, the hands down, the left foot lifts up. Finding a bit of balance here. And then warrior three, kick that foot back, finding some balance, really focusing on kicking the back heel towards the back of the rim. Once again, the arms can reach out towards the sides if you'd like a little bit more balance. And then bending this right knee, keeping your left foot as high as you can. We're going to do this as slowly as we can to lower the back toes down to the floor. Pushing down to rise up, arms lift to the sky. And then twisting as the right elbow reaches back behind you. Left hand reaches forwards, keeping the hips square. Slight draw down of the tail. And then right arm drops down. Cartwheel yourself out into your warrior two. Straight away reverse the warrior, slide back hand down, back leg. And then extended side elbow onto the thigh. Arm reaches up and over. And then focusing on spiraling the chest towards the left hand side of the room or of the mat. And then lower the gaze, hands comes to the floor, twizzling onto the back toes, twisting, right arm to the ceiling. And then both hands come back to the floor, walk the foot to the outside edge of your mat, take a little spring, left foot joins the right, and straight away we're going to come down into that half squat position. So finding a little bit more stability through our legs rather than just the flexibility through our hips. Really start to commit to what you're feeling here. I want you to really be turbocharging into the legs. Grip slightly with your big toe to get the inner thigh active. And then push down, stand up, arms lift to the sky. Bring the hands back to the center of the chest. Oops, heel toe your feet together. Arms open, eyes closed. Keeping the eyes open if you feel dizzy, but focusing here on reducing the sight sense. So finding something in front of you that isn't moving, that isn't too distracting. And with the eyes closed, you can really focus inwards on the other senses you've got. What is going on beneath the toes? What is going on in your ears right now? What is here? Maybe even the sound of your breath. The increase to remind ourselves that our body adapts to keep us supported. And then flicker the eyes open, breathing in, arms rise to the sky. Exhale, forward bend down through the midline. Hands come to the floor, stepping back, downward facing dog. You're going to come forwards into a plank position. Lower your knees to the floor or one straight line to the ground. You're going to take your right arm out towards the right hand side of the mat, bring the left hand next to the chest, and then push gently into the left hand to roll yourself to the right hand side of the body. Relax the head. You can stay here, you can TP the left fingertips if you'd like to. You can pick up the left foot and pop it just onto the ground for a little bit more support. And then roll yourself back down onto your belly.
Left arm comes out in line with left shoulder, right hand next to the chest, and roll yourself open. Bending through the right knee, keeping the right fingertips. And then rolling yourself back onto your belly. We're going to do a similar thing from there. You're going to keep your hands next to your chest. So push once again into your left hand as you start to roll yourself over to the right side of the body. But this time you're going to push down through your right hand, bend the left knee in a similar way you did before, and place the foot to the ground. So you just basically come to sit onto the right hip. Now lower ourselves back down to the ground to do that thing on the other side. So roll yourself over, push into the right hand, push into the left as you sit yourself up. Place the right foot to the floor as the left leg stays straight towards the back of the mat. We do this just one more time to get ourselves happy with the movement, keeping those elbows hugged in, kind of chaturanga arms. Breathing in to open and breathing out to close. One more on the left. We're going to add on to this slightly, so once again pushing into the left hand. Once you're here, you're going to push the hips up, push powerfully down through the legs as you lift your hips up towards the sky. Lower your bum with control. Lower the palms, roll yourself back onto your belly. Push into the right hand, roll yourself over, push down through the feet. Rise up, hips to the sky. Do this one more time on each side just to find a little bit more fluidity. Rolling onto the sides of the belly, breathing in to expand the chest. And one last time. Opening up on the in-breath, so the whole chest expand, and then lowering down onto your belly on the out-breath. Relaxing your arms now back behind you, relax your chin or cheek to the ground. Close your eyes, take a moment just to shuffle the hips from side to side. Feel the mat beneath you. Notice the sounds around you. And then from here, lift the gaze forwards. You're going to bend your knees, swing back behind you to find your feet. Now, option A is you're just going to do one at a time. So if you'd like to, just bend your right knee just to begin with. Or if you're happy here, you can bend both knees. Swing back behind and find the outside edges of the ankles. And now this is a 3 points. You're going to squeeze your knees together. You're going to push your heels up and your shins back, all in one movement. Feel the chest opening. So push the pubic bone gently down. Breathing in, heels up, shins back, and chest open. Focusing on really squeezing your bum. If you feel this too much through your lower back, I'd like you to back off. Focusing on the chest opener rather than a back bend. Keep the feet flexed, almost as if you're kind of supporting a tray with your feet. Take a nice long breath in. And exhale, lowering slowly with control back down to the floor. As I'm sitting here, I'm just watching a little caterpillar walking across the floor in front of me. So close your eyes, take a little shuffle of the hips, just from side to side. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So if you did just one knee, you're going to bend the left knee, come back behind you. So if you're doing this half variation, you can reach your right arm away from you. Sorry, I didn't say that on the other side. And as the foot kicks up, you can lift just one leg and one arm. Or if you're happy to, you're going to do both feet. Once again, taking the hands back behind you. Having a play here with, once again, keeping the feet flexed. Or if you'd like to, this time you can point to your toes. See if you can get your big toes together. So as you push your feet up, shins back, chest open. And then once you're up, see if you can touch your big toes together. Keeping the shoulders really open here. Chest to heart rises. And as you breathe, feel this whole movement coming from the lower belly. Take a nice long breath in. And exhale to release with control back down to the floor. Relax the arms, relax the head. Shuffle of the hips or be still, just to allow everything to calibrate into the body. And then bring the hands back next to the chest. You're going to tuck your toes under, coming back into a nice wide-kneed child's pose. Point the toes to the back of the mat, maybe taking a little sway just here from side to side, dropping the armpits alternately down towards the floor. And then if you feel happy to, relaxing your forehead down to the mat. If it doesn't touch, make that little tower like you're used to onto the ground. And then from here we're going to come into our pigeon pose, so lifting the gaze. Bring your right shin forwards, sliding your left foot back. Now if you're finding pigeon a little bit funny for your back knee, then you can lie yourself down on your back and do a similar variation like some of you already know. Finding your figure four, and you can draw the left knee in towards your chest, feeling that similar stretch through the inside edge of the left hip and the outside edge of the right glute. If you're happy in your pigeon, you've got a couple of options here as well. If your foot is quite close towards you, you're going to be pointing through the foot. If you're feeling a little bit more flexible into the hips, you're going to walk your shin slightly further forwards and you're going to flex your foot. Wherever you are, I want you to see if you can keep your pelvis or hips square towards the front of the mat. The back toe can tuck just to kind of rearrange through that back knee, and make sure your foot is in line with your back hip. You can stay high or you can walk yourself onto your elbows. Palms can open to the ceiling. And then a gentle push down of the elbows and forearms to feel the back of the chest spreading, and a slight push down of that grounded shin just to feel slightly more through the hip. So pigeon can be quite a passive relaxation place, but it can also be quite an intense, kind of full of sensation place. So depending on what kind of you need today or what you would like, this is a conversation that you have to have with your body. Gently walking yourself back up if you haven't done already. Sit yourself to your right sit bone, and the left leg swings all the way around towards the front. You're going to hop the leg up and over as you straighten out your bottom leg. So the left knee stays bent. Your back hand comes back, or left hand, sorry, comes back behind you in line with your left sit bone. Right arm grows tall, and then finding the elbow to the outside edge of the knee to twist. A gentle kick away of your heel to feel the leg active, and a peel around of the chest. Smooth out the breath. As we did in those previous twists, when we were in our chair pose, how is the breath sacrificed? How can you notice it more or notice it less as we're being wrung out here? And then bring yourself back, bringing the soles of the feet together into our seated butterfly pose. Chest rises up. You can keep the feet quite close to you for this first one. Maybe just staying quite high as you take the knees for a little bit of a flutter. Maybe the chest draws down, but maybe not, it doesn't matter. Keeping the spine long, the tailbone connected to the floor. And then a walk back up, help the knees back together, a crisscross of the legs, and coming back into your downward facing dog. We're going to come into our pigeon on the opposite side now, so the left shin comes forwards. Slide the back foot back, once again coming onto your back if you would prefer that variation. The front shin can be flexed towards the top of the mat or a little bit closer towards you. Come down onto your forearms if you feel happy. Think about the chest drawing forwards towards your thumbs and keeping the lower belly drawn back, the rib cage being drawn in. And don't just check out. You think about closing your eyes, removing that sight sense or removing anything distracting in front of you. And just feel into each section of the body of what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. Maybe just ask yourself the question of how you're reacting to that sensation. If it's something a little bit too challenging, then are you wanting to get out of it prematurely? Or are you willing to sit in it and explore the discomfort to realise that it's not really so bad? Arms come back down, push yourself back up. We're going to sit to your left sit bone. Swing that right leg all the way around in front of us. As you do so, straighten the bottom leg to find our twist. Hug the knee gently in towards the chest. Right hand comes up in line with the right sit bone. Left arm grows tall, and then twisting around towards the right hand side. And unravel yourself, bringing the soles of the feet once again together. This time the feet can come slightly further away from you. Take the hands maybe onto the shins as you fold yourself a little bit deeper. Maybe take the elbows onto the shins or the thighs, wherever they land. Think about the chest drawing forwards. Bring yourself back up. Help the knees together. Place the soles of the feet to the ground. We're going to roll ourselves down onto our backs from here. Lowering yourself slowly down towards the floor. You can keep the soles of the feet bent with the soles of the feet to the ground. The knees bent, soles of the feet to the ground. Or if you prefer to, straighten the legs to the bottom corners of the mat. Release your arms. Pick up your head and just tuck the chin to the chest. Feel the back of the neck stretch. And drift of the head just from side to side. Toes relaxed to the bottom corners. And then pick up your arms just a couple of inches. Reach the arms away from you. Feel the back of the chest kind of spread in before popping the arms gently back down to the floor. Allow the eyes to relax in the closed eyes, the jaw to relax. Feel your whole body now weighted down towards the ground. As we rest in our final pose, this is just as challenging as any other pose. As we hold this pose, we will be holding a plank pose or any kind of balanced position. How held would your mind be in those moments? So give your sole concentration to the job in hand. Keeping your body relaxing with every exhalation down towards the floor. Tongue is heavy in the throat. Feel the breath move through you effortlessly. Take a nice long deep breath in, right down into the lower belly. And opening your mouth, letting all the breath go. The spidering of your fingers, a wiggle of your toes. Drift of your head, once again, just to bring some life back in. Reach the arms up over your head as you bend the knees. And then roll yourself over onto your side. And slowly in your own time, sitting yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Hands come to rest onto the thighs. Close the eyes if they've opened. Find this moment of stillness after our transition. Feel the heaviness of the seat. And feel the lightness of the rest of the body.
hands together at the centre of the chest. Drop your brain down towards your heart. For continuing to practice, for continuing to show up on your mats. Namaste.